and his colleagues emphasized, education that acknowledges the full impact of network publics and digital media must recognize a whole new way of looking at learning and teaching, not just another set of skills that must be added to the curriculum. I'm not sure how to get there, how to evaluate efforts and measure impacts, or whether schooling as we know it is even the place to start building the necessary institutions. But assuming a world in which the welfare of young people and the economic health of a society and the political health of a democracy are the true goals of education, I believe modern societies around the world need to assess and evaluate what works and what doesn't in terms of engaging students in learning, and in a more nuanced way, looking at what civic engagement means today. So the good news is that the technology is moving extremely rapidly in the right direction. In 1995, 14 years ago, I was asked by the NEC Corporation to help them build a demonstration for the International Telecommunications Union convention that they hold in Geneva every 2 years of a University of the Future. So this is a mock-up, circa 1995, what a University of the Future online might look like. I never suspected then that it would be possible in 2008 to create something that did pretty much this out of free and open source tools. So with a small grant from the MacArthur Foundation, I worked with a developer based on Drupal to create the social media classroom. You can see the little tabs across the top to enable students to fluidly move from a wiki to a forum to a blog to use. Isn't it interesting? In 2008, the back channel was chat. Now I've got to spend some more money enabling Twitter to come into this. So this is available. I'll have a URL at the end, socialmediaclassroom.com. If you have IT skills and a server, you can download it and use it for free. And we do have a server that's paid for till sometime next spring in which we are hosting people. But the most interesting change that using the methods that are required to do participative media and the social media classroom, in my experience, was moving from a classroom like this was 2 years ago, to a classroom like this was in the last year. For one thing, we moved those chairs out of rows and we moved them into a circle. Not high technology, but an astonishing effect. There is no back row in a circle. You are not hiding out from the teacher, you're hiding out from each other. And when I sat down in the circle, that had a huge effect. It's, given time constraints, I've got to stand up here and talk to you. I'm sure this would be much better for all of us if we could talk with each other. And that's what I do with my students for hours at a time. But more than that, I get the students involved in teaching with me. So I teach a course on social media. It has a number of themes: identity, community, public sphere. Each of those has texts. There's a syllabus. It's on a wiki. The first day of class, I write those themes on the board, and I ask students to cluster around the ones that interest them the most, to self-organize roughly equal groups. And those groups become the co-teaching teams who meet with me and help me teach the class on that theme. And when it works, they try to outdo each other every week. And they do exciting things that blow all of our minds when it works. That brings us back to the literacies. I think if you want to keep your eye on what we need to do, not only for children and for students, but for ourselves, you have to keep your eye not just on the technologies, but on the literacies. Thank you.